Hi everyone, it's Tessa again. This is my second video of today, November 28th. This is a Tuesday. I actually already did an update video this morning just to give you guys an update of the business, how I've been doing, where I am at with my sales goals, and the routines that I've been setting in place, and that I'm working through all of those routines even though I was out of town for about 13 days out of this month. So I already updated you guys on that. And then this video is to show you the haul that we actually got while we were in Florida. We visited a couple different places. We visited the Fort Lauderdale outlet store, the Goodwill outlets, or the bins, as a lot of us YouTubers and resellers call it. And we also visited the rather large flea market, the swap shop, or as a lot of the locals know it, the Thunderbird. Actually, the Thunderbird gets its name from the drive-in movie theater that used to be there. Most of the screens are non-operational at this point, so I don't think they actually have any movies there anymore, but it is called the Swap Shop. It is an 88-acre flea market and pavilion, and it has tons of stuff there. Food, restaurants, vendors. They have people there working on cars, painting cars, changing tires, doing brakes, like all kinds of stuff. And like it's just, the place is humongous. So as far as the flea market, though, it's very large. And we actually probably only got through about a half of it, and we were there for about 2 hours as far as the flea market stuff. And I apologize again because there are just some days where this camera, let's see if I can get this to look a little bit better. I had my blinds closed because I was getting such a glare, but now the camera is looking really grainy. So this is my haul video from our trip. Now I do have some other things that I picked up that I'm not going to show you that's actually going to go in an Amazon video for our next Amazon shipment. So I'm not going to show you that stuff. That way I'm not duplicating things, but I am going to show you the things that I'm going to be putting on eBay. So that's kind of an exciting thing. So we'll start with the smaller items that I have sitting here, I guess. Doesn't really matter where I start, but one of the things that we got at the bins at the outlet Goodwill was a bunch of sewing patterns. Now, these are actually going to go on Etsy, not on eBay. And I was pretty excited about these. And let me just tell you one thing about patterns, okay? And this one's actually probably not a good one because it looks like that one. Actually, it's been used. I typically don't sell used patterns on Etsy. I really stick to brand new patterns that have never been used. And sometimes it's hard to tell by the condition of the envelope. But if you just open the envelope up and you look at it, you can see that here's the directions at the bottom. And then this paper here, which is a much thinner, like tissue type paper, it's good and thick, and it's all factory folded. And you can tell it's factory folded. This was not something someone unfolded, took pieces out, and put it back, because it never goes back in the envelope the same way. And I can tell you this because I've sewed for years. So this is still factory folded. So there's, probably about a 99% chance that this is a complete pattern and everything is there. So I would sell this as a new, unused, and uncut pattern. I would make note of, the condition of the envelope. Most sewers know that the envelopes have a tendency to take a beating in storage. So even if you haven't used it, the envelope can be in pretty rough shape. So as long as the directions are there, you can still see the back, which is got size information and yardage for fabrics. Then most sewers are going to be happy with that. Now, a lot of the patterns that I'm picking up when I pick them up at the bins like that, they're out of print. So a sewer looking for a particular thing is not going to be able to get this pattern in a store. And that's part of the reason why these are, sought after, especially if it's something that's out of print. Or something that's out of style. So, a clothing item that you're looking for that's a particular time period is going to be a little bit harder to get now. So that's the reason why I look for these. I sell the patterns anywhere from, I don't know, $2.99 to $9.99 depending on the pattern. I do have some Vogue patterns that I probably have sold for like $11.99, $12.99 plus shipping. I always do shipping separate, so that's a whole different thing. But strictly the price of the item, anywhere from $2.99 to, like I said, probably average is going to be $7.99 on most of these. But I actually, when I went through the bins and we were looking for the ones that were factory folded, and we just kind of picked up everything that we could find, got to the register, asked them how much it was. We were assuming we were going to pay by the pound. And then she said they were 25 cents a piece. I was like, all right, well, that's fine. I'll pay 25 cents a piece. I'm going to make more than that. I'm going to, you know, minimum quadruple my money, but that's like at the bottom of the thing. You know, I'm going to make more than that. So I was fine with 25 cents. I actually just sat and counted these up for the first time because I didn't really count them the day that we were there. And there's about $6 worth of patterns here. And that doesn't count a couple that I have sitting here that are questionable. And I have some patterns and directions that got separated from envelopes and an empty envelope. So I may have a whole nother envelope fitting here, or those may be pieces that go in these, but I'm going to have to kind of look through and see what I have. So maybe a couple more there that I can actually sell. Regardless, $6 if I paid 25 cents a piece, but she actually ended up only charging me $4. So that's even better. And so I was very excited. The other thing that makes me very excited about these is it happens to be the things that I sell the most on Etsy. And that being pocketbooks and hats and pajamas. And I don't know why these are the top things to sell on Etsy, but they sell really well. And over half of these patterns are hats and handbags, purses. It's crazy because these are almost all handbag patterns. And then we have a couple that are not necessarily handbags, but this is actually for slip covers. This is another one that tends to go really well. So lots of purses, PJs, scarves and hats, more handbags, drawstring bags. Here's another one that I sell that sells really well, dog or pet clothes and beds, more pajamas, lingerie, robes and PJs. This one is organizers. This is another one that would sell really well. PJs, PJs, PJs. And the only thing out of the entire bunch that may not necessarily be the greatest find, and my husband probably picked this one up actually now that I'm looking at it because this is another used pattern. And it's actually a shirt. So probably won't be able to sell that one, but I'll definitely be able to get my $4 back between all of these. I actually have sold 2 things on Etsy in the last week, which is kind of a record for me. I had an $18 deposit into my account. That's great. I believe the fees on Etsy are only about 20 cents for 3 months for one listing. So I have like 37 items on Etsy. As long as I sell one every couple weeks, and I typically do, then I've paid my fees and I don't have a problem. So I get more money for patterns on Etsy than I'm going to get up for them on eBay. So that's the reason why I do them. It's also very easy to list on Etsy, and it's not quite as intensive of a listing form as eBay. And so I can sit down and do 20 patterns in a night in probably 2 hours, where on eBay, I'm lucky if I get up 8 full listings. Sometimes depending on what it is I'm listing. It just takes a little more time to do the research. The patterns on Etsy is just not, it's pretty much across the board. It's going to be the same price. It's just different depending on the age of the pattern and the brand. So once I've done that research, I'm pretty much going to know what I'm going to be listing those for. Now, the next thing we actually found this at the flea market. At a table, and I almost didn't ask the guy how much he wanted for it because sometimes these people are, even at the flea market, are going to be overpriced, but it really pays to ask the question and say, what do you want for this item? Because I was really surprised by this. This is you can read or you can speak, your baby can speak Spanish set. Comes with 3 discs inside the box, 3 discs in 2 cases, and it also has 100 flashcards. The box is in terrible shape, but the disc and the cards inside are in perfect condition. Look like it's probably not even been messed with. It's just a storage issue. The box got ripped. Not a big deal. This set goes for, let's see, I believe I saw it priced anywhere from $17.99 plus shipping to $48 plus shipping. The listing that I'm probably going to go with, that's a more recent listing, is about $29.99 for a pre-owned with $3.61 in shipping. Now, that's economy, so that's probably going to be a media mail, and they got $30 for it, and that was in October. So, but like I said, three listings that have sold within the last 60 days between $17.98 to $48.99, and that does not include shipping. So there was extra shipping. So I'm definitely going to make my money back. I paid $1 for it, so that's awesome. Get this out of the way. While we're talking about the Your Baby Can set, throwing things around, the Your Baby Can Read, and it's by the same company. The Your Baby Can Read items I have liked for a while. Now, I prefer to get the sets that are already boxed and have everything in them. They have DVDs, they have books, and they have parent guides, and then they also have flashcard sets. Now, we actually got these at the bins as well, or the outlet Goodwill, and that particular Goodwill charged 50 cents a book, no matter what the size of the book was. And instead of doing it by weight, which actually probably was to our benefit. So definitely not complaining about that. We found 2 sets of the cards. There's set 1 and set 4 of the sliding word cards. These are selling for about $9.99 a piece, including the shipping, but that's still a great price. I'm still going to make several dollars on that. So that's awesome. And then we also picked up 3 of the books. We have 1, 2, and 4 of the books. Now, I already have, I think, 3 and 4 in my store, and I also have the DVDs. And I'm not sure of the numbers of each of those, but these don't sell for quite as much by themselves separately, but 50 cents a piece, it was worth it for me to go ahead and pick these up. I may take them and bundle them with the books and the DVDs I already have and see if I have enough to make maybe a full set. I may have enough to do 1, 2, 3, and 4 of the book, or I may have enough to do 1, 2, and 3 and add the DVDs to it. It just depends on what numbers I have. And I haven't looked at my inventory numbers, but I'd probably be able to take those and get $20 plus shipping for a set if I bundle. So 50 cents a piece, that was worth my time, and it'll take just a few minutes to pull the other listings that I have and just bundle those up. So no big deal. At the flea market again, at the swap shop, I also picked up a couple games, and this one I just think is a trip. This is the 2000, and let me just make sure so I don't tell you the wrong thing. The 2002 G.I. Joe Commando Attack board, or Commando Attack game. And this has a disc shooter. You can see the gun right here. I have to do some testing with it. It looks like it's an impeccable shape on the inside, with all the dividers of the game are still in there. The box is still intact, even though the corners are looking a little rough. The box is still intact. None of the corners are ripped. It's still in really good shape. And like I said, the inside is still in an impeccable condition. Looks like everything was there. I'll have to go through and just double check, make sure that nothing is missing. But it looks like this particular item is selling for anywhere from $12 to $30 plus shipping. And that is used or pre-owned. And even if I can't sell it as quickly as I would like, I already have some of these pieces actually listed in my store. It's not as old as some of them that I would like to be selling. So it could be that it might not sell as well as I would like. But I really was not worried about it so much. Now, I did pay $3 for this. So I did kind of pay up. But again, like I said, I already had one in my store. I knew I'd be able to sell it. And I knew if it was missing pieces that I would have some extras. So I'll probably, I'll still be able to get my money for it. So I'm not at all, overly concerned on that particular item. The other thing I bought from the same seller on that particular day, and I paid $3 for this one as well. I really tried to talk the girl down and, get her to come down and maybe only, charge me $4 for both games or $5 for both, but she didn't really want to budge, and it was fine. I'm making money on everything else. So occasionally I don't mind taking a little bit of a risk. It's just, or a little bit of a hit on something. So this particular thing was the Twister Moves game. And this is an interesting one because I didn't really find it on eBay when I searched it. And I did do a little bit of research before we left Florida. And I ended up discarding the box. And I end up keeping the instruction. It also comes with 3 discs. All 3 discs are in excellent condition with their sleeves. So I was very happy about that. And then I also have the pads. Now, there are only 2 that have sold in the last 60 days. And there's nobody selling the replacement pieces for this. So I decided to take a risk in this one and actually sell the pieces separate. I probably will be able to get $9 to $15 just for the replacement discs. Maybe even sell these separately and do $7.99 a piece. I don't know. I haven't decided yet how I'm going to do that. And then the pads. And I think there are 4 of these, for one for each player, I believe is how it works. But I'm not even sure. But these are pretty lightweight. They're just kind of a vinyl. They're not, so it's not real heavy. It probably is going to be nearing a pound, but not quite there. Again, I can probably get about $10 for the pads. We'll see. You know, like I said, sometimes I take a risk, but I have had really good luck with games like that have the DVDs with them. So the Twister DVD, the Candyland DVD, I sell the DVDs for Seen It. I sell, you know, so and I apologize again, guys. I'm feeling like I'm getting a film on my glasses because my camera keeps going blurry on me. And I wish it was not doing that, but, the next thing we got, and I got these 2 games actually at the bins as well. We did actually go to a couple other thrift stores, and I did buy a couple little things, but mostly what we bought, it may end up going to Amazon, I think. I don't have a lot that we bought besides, you know, the bins and the flea market that is going to eBay. And that's probably just because of the prices. That's just kind of the way that it works. Some of the thrift stores, the prices are higher, and I'm not going to buy it for eBay when it's used. So this one is one of those things that I actually did kind of take a risk on, and I didn't really know at the time. Didn't have a chance to actually research it. We were checking out, and we asked about board games and said how much were they charging me for the board games. And the girl said they were charging me $2. I don't know where the other board game is. They were charging me $2 a board game. And then when this one came over, the girl was asking what to price it at. And the guy said $3. Well, I knew Magic the Gathering does really well on eBay, and we were literally walking out the door. We were fixing to pay. She was finishing up our order, and I said, well, I want that if it's $3. And they said, oh, you want it? And I'm like, yeah, let me get it. Got it home, or got it to my daughter's house, I should say, and went through it, and it does absolutely, looks like it has all of the pieces there. I think there were a couple little bitty damaged squares that come with it, that it might have been missing a couple of those. But all of the figures are all there, and there's a whole bunch of them in there. I think when I looked it up, let's see, just now, it looks like it's only selling for about $10 plus shipping. And actually, this one sold for $10 plus $22 in shipping. So I feel like I'm probably going to be able to get about $30 for this item. And if I ship it correctly, I'm still going to make some money. If it doesn't look like I'm going to be able to list it for that, I'll definitely be able to take the pieces. And what I usually will do is break it up. I'll sell the game board separately. I'll sell all the cards as one listing. I'll do all the figures as a whole nother listing. And usually when I do that, I can get about $10 for each one plus shipping. That means I make about $30 off of the game, and I paid $3. So that's a nice profit from that one. This is another one that we actually got at those particular bins. And again, this is one I didn't even look up. It's a Risk Europe game. I knew that some of the other Europes or the other Risk games are really good. I just actually last week before we went to Florida had processed all of my Risk games that I had sitting here. So I already knew about what the prices were for those. And I knew when I was looking at comps for some of the other more specific games that some of these weird ones, Like, I think there's one for Germany and there's one for France, and there's different ones, and there's a Europe one. And I knew that they have a tendency to do a little bit better than some of the basic ones. And again, this one sells for anywhere between $15 to $30 used plus shipping. If I decide I don't want to mess with it, then I can break it down and sell the pieces. I have not even looked to see if all the pieces are here with this one. I just knew that I was going to want the box, and so I went ahead and brought this one home all together with the box, and haven't even looked to see if the pieces are all there. So hopefully most of them are there, and I can still, like I said, I can break it down if I need to. I can get $10 for cards, $10 for the board, $10 for the game pieces, make about $30 off of it. I paid $2, so it's, it's good. Oh yeah, this one. This is another one we got at the flea market, and I actually got a couple different ones. This particular guy actually was an online seller himself. He had tons and tons of board games and other things, and he was just looking to move inventory that he had decided not to sell, or he had delisted for whatever reason. And this particular item is a cootie game from 1966. The box is, though, a little yellowed, in pretty good shape. I mean, the corners are a little worn, but none of them are broken. You can see the picture. It really, honestly, for 1966 is in really, really nice shape. It looks to me like, as I was going through, it was missing one piece out of the entire thing. So it is almost complete. And unfortunately, that one piece means I'm not going to get the full price, which sells for $15 plus shipping for this particular item. So probably about $23 out the door. Not going to quite get that. So it's probably going to be closer to about $17 out the door. I actually paid about $3 for it, so it's not as good of a deal as I would like. But again, as a collector's item for someone that's looking for the nostalgia, and especially with Christmas, this is still a great find. And the only other things that I bought at the flea market that day, and the only other things we actually really came home with, were some games. But I did not, I didn't keep the boxes to these. So I'm just going to pull out some of the pieces and just show you guys. I did pick up a recent Life game. And I wanted to see what the age of this one was. This says 2013. So this is a pretty recent one. It's a 2013 Life game. It looks to me like pretty much all the pieces were here. I've got the money, I've got the people and cars, and I even have the board game with a spinner on it. And again, this is one of those things where I can sell the pieces individually. I already have listings up. It's easy to go in and start that listing and just change the date out for the correct one. No big deal. The same guy that had the vintage cootie game also had a vintage Hi-Ho Cheerio, and I think this is from want to say it was 1950s, maybe 1950s, 1960s, but it has the cups and the cherries. Again, this is something I paid $3 for it. I'll probably be able to sell it for $10 plus shipping. These pieces don't weigh almost anything, so it'll definitely be a first class thing that'll sell for or ship for $270. So that's great. And I do have as well the board, but I may not ship that. It was in good shape. The box was just demolished, and there was just no keeping it, or I would have hung on to the box on that one. But it just wasn't worth messing with, so I just bagged all the pieces and brought it home. The last one that I have today, and I was really sad about this one, and it happens occasionally where you buy something and you get home and it's not worth what you thought it was. This one was actually a Harry Potter clue. And the Harry Potter clues, depending on which ones you get, some of them sell really well. This one is actually a 2016 edition, so it was a little new. I think that I got this actually at the outlet Goodwill or the bins as well. So I think I paid $2 for it. Got it home and looked. I definitely think that most, if not all, the pieces are here, but they're not really special, as far as Harry Potter goes. So the cards and the clue pads usually do pretty well. I can usually get $10 for it. It does have a special die in this and then the card. So I'll probably just do a grouping on this one and sell everything for about $10 plus the shipping. Now, there is, with this particular one, I did discard the box because it's just a newer item and it just doesn't do as well. And usually with games, the older ones do a little bit better. However, this one did come with this really cool instruction sheet, which is basically set up like a the daily prophet from Harry Potter, which is just really cool. And so the instruction sheet was in here, and I'll probably be able to sell that along with the board. And the board has these moving parts, and it has 4 sections that all fold. And so I'm not going to unfold the whole thing, but these discs on the side that turn and changes the board and changes stuff. And there's, like I said, 4 of these on each side. It has those discs, so you can see. I guess I'll just go ahead and hold it for you so you can see it. But it's got the whole thing, and it's got all the pieces. So this is one of those things I may go ahead and actually list on eBay with the board, even though no one has it listed yet, just because it's a specialty board that's going to be a little bit harder, and if it gets tore up, people are going to want a new one. So again, when I sell the games, I do look for the specialty ones. I look for the specialty clues, the specialty risks, the specialty monopolies. If it's Lord of the Rings, Harry Potter, Walking Dead, Game of Thrones, any of those in Monopoly, Seen It, Clue, then I'm going to pick it up. And I typically don't even research it before I do it. But I have a rule that I just don't pay more than like $3 for it. So that's where I'm at with that. That is today's haul. I hope you've enjoyed it. Again, I apologize for my camera condition here. I can't quite figure out the lighting here around here. And until we get some of this stuff behind me moved out of the way, I won't be able to rearrange things in here to get a better lighting for videos. So, and as I've said before, my priority right now is listing on eBay. So my priority is not videos. So until I have a good income coming in from eBay, I'm not going to focus as much on eBay, even though I'm trying to, update you guys and let you know what's going on. So hopefully I will get around to getting these uploaded today and then have one more video for you guys probably tomorrow. And that'll be an Amazon video. I'll get my Amazon order together and get it out the door. And so then you'll get to see those items as well. I think we had a pretty good week for vacation, did pretty good, and we'll make pretty good money off of it. So definitely not complaining there. As always, have a great day and happy listing. And don't forget to like the video and subscribe, and let me know if you have any questions or comments. Have a great day.